What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Vegeta J, and I'm back with another YouTube video. I'm back with the educational content, calisthenics, calisthenics style, calisthenics version. Let's see. Today we're gonna talk about the three. I got three myths, three calisthenic myths that were debunked. I feel like this is gonna be a valuable video because a lot of people, they don't know about calisthenics. They don't know about, you know, the real about it, like the educational part, really learning about it, really studying it, really researching it, the different styles, there's a lot of different, myths about it. There's a lot of different people just don't know. They don't know what they don't know. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to educate. So, let's get started. Let's see. For the first myth, it's going to be myth number 1. Calisthenics is only for beginners. Now, this is debunked. This is not true. Calisthenics can be performed at all levels, such as basic/traditional calisthenics, street workout calisthenics, static strength, freestyle calisthenics, endurance/high rep calisthenics, and weighted calisthenics. Now, I'm gonna break down each and every one of these so y'all understand the difference between each one and how there's different levels in calisthenics. There's different styles. I want to know what y'all opinion are. Which one do y'all prefer? Which one do y'all like? I'm gonna let y'all know which one I like at the end of this video, but that's how it's gonna go. So let's start off with basic/traditional calisthenics. For basic and traditional calisthenics, this is more of like, the focus is more on strength, endurance, and just overall like fitness. Just looking good, feeling good. And, just building the strength, the foundational strength. This is like the foundation of calisthenics. The push-ups, the pull-ups, the dips, the squats, sit-ups, leg raises. Like body weight only. No equipment needed, nothing, none of that. Just straight up, just basic foundational strength, basic movements. Now the goal for this one is just to build foundational strength, is using body weight exercises. So this is like, the basics, which is always good. You should always train. Like, I feel like once you start calisthenics, you're gonna start off doing basic calisthenics, because that's all you have to build the strength up to do each and every one of these other calisthenic styles. So in my opinion, this calisthenic style, basic and traditional calisthenic style, is the most important. This is the foundation of all of these other styles. You can't do none of these styles you can do without having the basics down packed. You need to be able to do push-ups. You need to be able to do pull-ups. You need to be able to do dips. You need to be able to do squats. You need to be able to have the core exercises down packed. These are foundations, right? So boom. Now let's get into the street workout calisthenics. Street workout calisthenics is focused on strength, aesthetics, and endurance. So mostly exercises as in advanced push-ups, pull-ups, levers, static holds, outside workouts, outside environment, that type of vibe, if you understand what I'm getting at. The goal of this one is to master control over body weight while developing a lean, muscular physique. So it has to do with aesthetics and strength, mostly, right? Boom, let's go to the next one now. Static strength. The static strength is, the focus is mostly on holding positions for strength and endurance. So exercises such as the front lever, the back lever, the planche, the L-sit, and the human flag. These are exercises where you have to contract and hold positions for periods of a time. So like 30 seconds, 15 seconds. Like the goal for this one is you want to maximize your time holding the movement. With static strength calisthenics, the goal is to develop insane core and upper body strength through static holds, through front levers, through back levers, through all of these static holds where you have to hold your body for a certain amount of time. And it's also for aesthetics. It looks cool. You know what I mean? Like, you holding a front lever just looks very aesthetic, very cool. People would look at you and be like, damn, I want to do that. Like, that's how I feel, at least. As a calisthenics athlete, that's how I feel. I feel like, damn, that's impressive. Like, I want to do that. Every time I see someone do a human flag, I'm like, wow. Like, that's tough. Like, I'm trying to get to that point. You know what I mean? I'm trying to advance like that. Right? So, boom. We just went over the basic traditional calisthenics. We just went over street workout calisthenics. We just focused on static strength calisthenics. Now let's go to the freestyle calisthenics. Freestyle calisthenics is focused on dynamic movements and tricks, right? This is where people are doing 360 muscle ups, front flip bar catches, dynamic dips, muscle ups, just jump over the bar muscle ups, you know, all these different types of explosive movements and different types of just insane tricks. Like, these dudes are beasts. Every time I see people do this type of calisthenics, I'm just always impressed. Like, it's it's amazing. This is like gymnastics, but like equally as cool. Like literally. The goal for freestyle calisthenics is to combine acrobatics with strength for impressive and flowing movements. So basically agility and having skills with agility. You have to be very agile to be able to do these movements and have a lot of momentum. If you see them swinging, they're swinging over the bar. That's insane, bro. Like, I'm always impressed by people that's doing that, because it's just like, damn, I want to do that. Like, when I get to that level, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna show off so much. But for real though, like, freestyle calisthenics is probably one of the coolest calisthenics for me, in my opinion. I really love watching people do like 360 muscle ups, jumping over the bar, handstands on the pull-up bar. Like, that's insane. Right? So we just went over 4 of these calisthenic styles. Now the next one is endurance / high rep calisthenics. Now the focus for this calisthenic style is maximizing muscular endurance and cardiovascular fitness. So this is the training for this is like thousands of reps, hundreds of reps, pull-ups, dips, push-ups, all different types of bodyweight movements, but high reps, very high reps. If you see those guys on YouTube, they're doing like 1,000 push-ups in a row in one set, or like 500 pull-ups in not in one set. I don't even know if that's possible. Everything's possible, but yeah, 500 pull-ups in like an hour or something like that. There's people that do these things and they have very high endurance. They have a lot of strength. It takes a lot of strength to do that. A lot of cardiovascular fitness. The goal for this endurance high rep calisthenic style is to build extreme stamina and body weight conditioning. So people who do high reps, a whole bunch of sets and reps, they're building a lot of stamina. They're building a lot of muscle endurance. Those guys are crazy. They're insane. They do 500 reps in like 1 hour of push-ups or something like that. Like, that's crazy, right? So the next style of calisthenics is weighted calisthenics. Now, the focus on weighted calisthenics is strength and muscle hypertrophy. So this is volumizing your every other calisthenic style is just volumizing it. It's building strength faster, quicker. This is like the key to like explosiveness. This is the key to building like those muscle ups where you're like throwing yourself and you're just flying. You're just flying. Like you don't even need to. There's no dip. Like no dip muscle ups. This is like, it's insane. Like weighted calisthenics is really another part of the foundation where you can like, if you're trying to reach another level, this is where it's gonna start. Like weighted calisthenics is undefeated. It's mandatory to be able to do like these freestyle calisthenic styles, the static styles, all these other styles. If you want to volumize it, you can literally add some weight, right? So the goal for this is increase resistance to build more strength and muscle mass. So weighted calisthenics could really help you build more muscle mass. This is basically how I got so ripped, because after I did the foundational basic traditional calisthenics, I started getting into weighted calisthenics, and that's when it volumized every other movement. Because once you start adding weight and your time under tension, your hypertrophy, all those things, it just increases so much because you're adding weight to your body weight already. So it makes it harder. The harder you make it, the harder you make any variation, the easier it'll be when you're just doing the body weight. Because obviously, right, it makes sense. Myth number 2. You need equipment to do calisthenics. Of course not. This myth is like one of those myths where it's like, bruh, like it's calisthenics. Like this is, I shouldn't even have to explain this. You can build strength and endurance with just body weight exercises, such as pull-ups, dips, squats, and push-ups. Of course, if you want to progress in calisthenics, eventually you would need to make the variations harder, more difficult. But if you can't afford any equipment, if whatever the reason is, you don't have equipment, can't afford it, you could always train harder variations. You could always make it difficult in some sort of way. You could always switch it up. And that's why calisthenics is like, you could master the basics so well to the point where like you're just increasing strength within your body weight, which is always going to be the best thing in calisthenics, because when you do get the equipment, you're already going to build that foundational strength. You're already going to have a lot of strength already. You're already going to be able to do the basic movements so well that when you do get equipment, you'll be able to fucking like, your strength is already off the charts. You're already like going to be good. So that's a good thing about calisthenics. You could study and research different variations. You could switch up your push-ups. You could switch up your squats. You could do jumping squats. You could switch up the dips. You could make it harder. You could do different types of dips. You could do different types of pull-ups. You could do chin-ups. You could do wide grip. You could do normal grip. You could do archer pull-ups. You could do muscle-ups. There's a whole bunch of different variations of doing calisthenics. That's what I really love about it. It's so versatile. You could become a calisthenics bodybuilder. You could literally do pike push-ups. You can do different forms like incline push-ups. You could switch it up so well, so much. You can make it harder in every aspect. You don't necessarily need equipment. Like, equipment is only needed if you really want to progress to a higher level. It's like a video game. You get to one certain level and then boom, you want to go to the next level. Okay, how do I do it? Okay, I might need a weighted vest so I can build more strength. But you don't necessarily need to have a weighted vest. You could always have a book bag, put some books in it, do pull-ups. That's a weighted that's weighted, right? So that's already building strength. All these other things are just gonna help you advance to the next level. But if you become a master at just the basic pull-ups, dips, squats, and push-ups, you can do everything else. It'll be great for you because you already have the foundational strength to do anything else. So you'll be able to easily learn how to do skills. You'll be able to easily learn how to get into weighted calisthenics. You can easily get into all these other styles right here that I was just talking about with just basic and traditional calisthenics, which is the foundation for all of these other styles. If you get the basics down, like you master them, you can do high reps in push-ups, pull-ups, dips, squats. You can get high reps. You're building endurance, you're building strength. Like, it's gonna be whatever else other style you want to get into, you can get into, and you already have the strength to be able to learn these things quicker than somebody that's trying to just jump into just doing freestyle calisthenics, or somebody just trying to jump into doing a muscle up. Because it's like you can't necessarily just jump into doing a muscle up. It's more of an advanced movement. It's two movements, and it's a technique. It's a form as well. Like, you have to learn how to do it. That was my problem when I first started doing calisthenics. I just wanted to do a muscle up so bad. But I had to realize that there's levels, there's progressions. I need to learn how to do higher reps and pull-ups and learn how to do higher reps and dips. And then on top of that, I had to learn how to do the form, the technique. Because you're not necessarily going straight up when you do a muscle up. There's a certain technique in order to do it, right? And I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to do muscle ups soon, right? But the equipment, don't worry too much about the equipment if you don't have it right now. Focus on building the foundational strength. Focus on the basics. That's what I tell everybody that wants to start calisthenics or asks me for advice. I tell them the best thing you could do right now, bro, is focus on the basics. Focus on getting higher reps. Focus on eating right, and you're gonna see progress. Like, it's bound to happen. You just gotta stay consistent with it and accept delayed gratification, because that's how this shit works. Calisthenics is not easy. It's a full body movements. It's not easy at all, but it is really fun once you get to the level of you're progressing so much that you can get into more advanced movements. You could train skills better. That's why I'm glad that I took the time to just focus on the basics, doing dips, doing pull-ups, doing push-ups, and doing squats. Because these things could go into anything else, literally anything else, any sport, anything. It's just building full maximum mobility, flexibility, athleticism, everything. And the aesthetics from having a calisthenics physique is just, I think, to be honest, in my opinion, it's the best. Like, I grew up watching Spider-Man. I grew up watching these superheroes that had just those type of physiques, and that's what I always wanted to have, like a calisthenics physique. Anyways, we going off track. Let's get to the next myth. Boom. Myth number 3. I hear this all the time. Calisthenics doesn't build muscle like weightlifting. Does that make any sense? It doesn't. And that's why it's debunked. It's a myth. And this is why I'm about to break it down for you, right? Because a lot of people don't think this. Like I said in the past video, somebody told me at my job, have you been lifting? Because you're getting bigger, bro. And I'm like, nah, I haven't been. I just do calisthenics. And they just didn't believe me. Like, they literally did not believe me. I'm like, I don't lift no weights. Like, literally, I don't lift no weights. And they just didn't believe that. And I'm just like, wow, so people really think that you cannot build muscle, like you can't get bigger with just calisthenics? Of course you can. Is that even a question? Come on now, bro. I'm about to break it down for you. All right, so let's talk about progressive overload. In weightlifting, you increase weight. In calisthenics, you increase the difficulty. You increase the difficulty by doing harder variations, increasing reps and sets, slowing down reps, the eccentric, right? And weighted calisthenics. So, this is how you obtain progressive overload in calisthenics. Now, weightlifting is different because all you have to do is add weight. It goes by increments by 5, right? So it's just adding weight. Okay, boom, I can add 5 more pounds to it. 35-pound dumbbells. Okay, boom, this is too easy. Let me try to do 40-pound dumbbells. Feel me? Like, it's shit like that. Now, in calisthenics, you can't just do that. You have to either switch up the variation. You have to either increase the reps, increase the sets. You have to either slow down and do a controlled movement. You know what I mean? Slow the negatives, slowing it down, nice and controlled. And also doing weighted calisthenics. So you can add weight with a weighted belt, weighted vest. You could put a weight on your back. You can do a whole bunch of things, but you have to make it difficult in order to increase the strength, in order to make it harder. That's how you increase strength. That's how you increase muscle mass with progressive overload in calisthenics, right? Now, let's go to strength versus size. Now, in calisthenics builds lean functional muscle with a strong emphasis on control, endurance, and body mastery. So basically athletic builds. It's good for combat sports. If you see a lot of these athletes, I'm pretty sure they do calisthenics. Of course, they do a lot of push-ups, pull-ups, anything that has to do with body weight movements, because they're always using their body weight, especially for fighting, especially for combat sports, right? Now, in weightlifting, typically it builds a bulkier muscle faster because you can precisely control resistance with heavier weights. All you have to do is add more weight, right? This is more of a bodybuilder build. Think of Ronnie Coleman. I mean, that's kind of intense. Ronnie Coleman is a fucking beast. Sam Sulek, right? These people that have bigger. You could just tell when a guy does a lot more weightlifting than he does calisthenics, because calisthenics physiques are mostly like lean physiques. They're most of the time they're lean, but you'll definitely see exceptions of bigger guys that know how to do calisthenics as well, and that's props to them, because that takes an immense, that takes a lot of strength to be able to do that. Like if you see watching Larry Wheels with Chris Heria, Larry Wheels is doing a planche and he's doing a handstand. I'm like, damn, bro, like you're proving everyone wrong. Like, bigger guys can definitely do calisthenics. It's just harder. It takes a lot more strength because you're higher in body weight. You're heavier. So, of course, it's going to take a lot more work. But it's possible. It's doable. It happens. People can do it, right? But now, calisthenics builds that lean physique, and weightlifting builds that bigger, bulkier physique. Now, it's up to you to decide which physique you want and what obtains to your goals. Not everyone has the same fitness goals, right? Not everyone wants to be big. Not everyone wants to be lean and muscular. Some people prefer to be more on the weightlifting side, and some people prefer to be more on the calisthenics side. Now, obviously, I'm on the calisthenics. I'm biased. I'm always going to go for calisthenics. That's my personal opinion, right? Because that's for me. I love calisthenics. I don't shame people who do weightlifting. I'm versatile as well. I could get into weightlifting as well. And I know maybe later down the line, I might get into weightlifting. Who knows, right? Boom. That's just explaining the strength versus size when it comes to calisthenics and weightlifting, right? Now, let's get into muscle activation and tension. Now, calisthenics, it engages multiple muscle groups at once, leading to better overall body coordination, increased core engagement because you're doing multiple body movements that includes your core. Like almost every movement in calisthenics is literally with core. If your core ain't tight, your core ain't right. I don't even know if I said that right. If your core ain't right, then you're gonna be tight. That's a fact, right? So now core is everything. That's like the most important thing in calisthenics. That's like the most important thing in like almost every sport, right? Now, high relative strength. Calisthenics builds high relative strength, which is the strength to body weight ratio. That's why you see mostly shorter guys being really good at like body weight movements. They're really good at calisthenics because they're building strength, but they're short too. Your body weight compared to your strength is like, it's like the ratio is just, you have way more strength for your body weight. So you'll be able to do advanced movements, muscle ups, you're throwing yourself in the air, planche might be easier. All these other movements is going to be way easier, especially if you don't train legs. If you don't train legs, you know these are going to be way easier probably. No, I'm just trying, right? I'm just kidding. Don't take it serious. I'm just playing. I hit legs, right? Boom. Now, weightlifting allows for isolation exercises that can target individual muscles more directly. So, isolation. You can do bicep curls for biceps, right? Like you target, you can do weightlifting targeting, isolating certain muscle groups. So if I want to do shoulders, I'm going to do shoulder press, right? Not for calisthenics, for weightlifting, right? That's the thing about weightlifting and calisthenics. With calisthenics, you're engaging multiple muscle groups at once. With weightlifting, most of the time, depending on the exercise, you're targeting one muscle group at a time, one or two muscle groups at a time. For the most part, is one, right? Boom. Now, time under tension. This, you can increase time under tension with calisthenics by slowing the movement down, having more controlled reps, and it can create enough tension for hypertrophy, similar to lifting weights. So slowing up the reps, making it more difficult. You can add a weighted vest. You can have a belt with the weighted plate attached, and you can slow the movement down to create more time under tension. It's like when you do any weightlifting movement. If you're doing bicep curls, you're gonna slowly, nice and controlled bicep curls. You could also do it explosively, obviously, but nice and controlled, you're gonna increase that time under tension, which is really good because that's how the muscles grow even faster, with the tension, time under tension, right? Now in calisthenics is just doing slow negatives or slow variations, anything that has to do with doing it nice and slow and controlled, right? Boom. Now, the question that is probably the most important question of this video is, can calisthenics replace weightlifting? Now, what do y'all think? Do y'all think calisthenics can replace weightlifting? If y'all think this, let me know in the comments. I'm going to give you my opinion right now, but let me know what y'all think. I want to know if y'all think that calisthenics can replace weightlifting. Now, in my personal opinion, no, fuck that. This is the facts, right? If you train, so yes, calisthenics can replace weightlifting. if you train progressively and eat enough protein to support muscle growth. Weighted calisthenics can be just as effective as weightlifting. You can get bigger, you can build muscle mass with calisthenics. It just depends on how you train. Most people just don't know how to train progressively. They don't know how to train progressively because, again, weightlifting is easier. You're just adding weight. You're getting bigger, you're getting stronger, you're just adding weight. Now, calisthenics, it takes a little bit more time to actually see the growth. But we gotta remember, we're working out multiple muscle groups. So you might be doing push-ups, but you should know that your core should be tight. You're flexing your core the whole time. That's building that muscle group. Multiple muscle groups. Your chest, your arms, your abs. It should all be tight, right? Now, with weightlifting, if you want maximum mass quickly, adding heavy weightlifting allows for faster progressive overload, which means you can do weightlifting for faster progress. When it comes to isolation muscles, when it comes to like building muscle mass, you can do it faster with weightlifting. But it depends on your goals, right? If you want to build a faster physique, if you want to be bulky, big, then of course you're going to do weightlifting, right? Because it depends on your goals. What goals do you want? What do you prefer? If you want to have that physique, you can go ahead and have that physique. Lift weights, build muscle, eat your protein, all these things, right? But calisthenics is a little bit different. You have to make the variations harder. You have to make it more difficult. You have to add weight. You have to add weighted calisthenics to your routine. And you have to train progressively. You have to train right. It's not the same with weightlifting, but you can most definitely replace weightlifting with calisthenics. For sure. Right? Boom. Now that explains that. Calisthenics can replace weightlifting. This is a fact. Search it up, research, do your own research. I did the research, so I know this, right? Now, your best approach. If you want a lean, functional, athletic physique, calisthenics is perfect for you. Now, if you want maximum hypertrophy, which is bulking and bigger muscle mass, adding weight and weightlifting is going to help with that. That's going to help you reach your goals, right? Now, hybrid training is calisthenics and weightlifting, which is good to have both, of course. More versatility. You can lift weights and you can do calisthenic movements. That's amazing. The more you can do, the better, right? The more you train, the better you train. The more versatile you are, the better that you're gonna be, because you have information and value from each thing. You can do weightlifting and you can do calisthenics, which is amazing. The more you can do, the better. And that's always gonna be the best thing, right? So now this is the calisthenic myths that have been debunked. I wanted to give you guys this educational content. I want to inform you guys on how calisthenics and weightlifting, how they can both have different goals, how they can both be different. What's the myth about calisthenics? Because some people don't know, and I'm aware that people don't know. This is why I'm here, right? So boom. Now, this is gonna be the end of the video. I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you guys prefer calisthenics or if you guys prefer weightlifting. I want to know you guys' opinion. Talk to me in the comments. Let me know if you agree with what I'm saying. Let me know how you think about these 3 myths right here. And talk to me, you feel me? Ask me for advice. I would love to talk to you guys about calisthenics, about fitness in general. This is my niche. This is my thing. Feel me? So like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on all platforms at vegeta.j. And this is the end of the video, guys. Hope you have a good one.